Hello and welcome to a new video with my home-built turbo modified Audi R8 Dodson. And in this video it will be some modification of the wiring in the car and the first startup with the turbos. Here's my water pump and this is the bracket for it. I don't know if I should be proud or if I should be ashamed of it. I think ashamed, but I do not have a workshop here, I do not have a welder, so most of this aluminum I found in the trash. Some of the bolts I have bought and some of the bolts is trash. You can see some offset bolts, it's both metric and inch bolts. Here we have something with a barcode, it's made in India. Frankenstein bracket. This is bracket both for the water pump and for the intercooler tank. Intercooler tank you can see here, half finished. I want, even when I roll over with this car, to have everything of this in place. I brought some parts from Sweden, from BJP Race. For blow-off valves I will use the Swedish made Nuke Performance. I've used them in my cars. Several of my cars and in the Gallardo as well. Made in Sweden and with these V-band clamps and flanges there. So I will weld them on into the intercooler. Also from Nuke Performance I'm gonna use this catch can, very nice one, billet up here and carbon fiber. Also use this one in my Superleggera. Ethanol sensor will use, some fittings, connectors, some sensors here. I brought this PDM, power distribution module. This one comes with some pins. I also brought one of these Blink Marine keypads, canvas keypads. It's possible to put icons here and this one will light up, and I will show everything about this one, but it's a very nice piece, made in Italy. They're making panels mostly for the boats I think, but many use them in racing as well. I also have one very nice Motec C127 dash here, and this one is actually not brand new. It's the one I stole it from my Lamborghini. Hopefully I can buy another one sometime. It is very good to have this one because I'm street tuning the car, and when doing that you cannot have your eyes on the computer all the time. Then you can program a lot of warnings, you can see the lambda for example, and the temperatures really fast and easy here. And this one I connect with the CAN bus to the ECU because I'm gonna use Motec ECUs in this one as well. So slowly collecting the parts here. Do you think it looks messy right now with all the wires here? Yeah, that's because I am removing the original Audi fuse and relay boxes. It's one on this side and one on that side. Right now it is a little bit messy, but it will be very good I think when this one is finished. I'm gonna put the PDM in almost the same place. I think a little bit more up and a little bit more on the side, so you will not see it so much. Here we have two starter relays and some very thick wiring here, 4 square millimeter wiring, and this is for enabling the starter motor, and this is for some logic function that I can do much better in the PDM over here. Two very thin wires is coming from one of the ECUs. If the ECU is happy to start the engine, you will get ground on both of these ones. The input for this one comes here, I cut it off, and it's 4 square millimeter wires. And also here they spliced it up and make these 4 square millimeter wires for the solenoids, small relays here. Not much power, very stupid I think. How they make it, the Germans here when in the engineering. So actually it's one wire here, it's the output to the starter motor, and it's 2 small inputs, but it's a lot of wires here and fuses also. I will cut this off and put it into the PDM, and I will put these inputs from the ECU into input to the PDM, because the PDM has some discrete inputs, so we can use them. I already removed some wires and I will remove even more now with this simple function I can program. Here we have the nice PDM 25 Plus, and it comes with instruction manuals. Very good manual here. So even if everything is online, it's always nice to have some of this, I think, in paper to read and outputs and see everything. Comes with some pins here, connectors, and USB with the software. The connectors, I've already put them in here. It's 4 different connectors here with different keying, so you cannot put them in incorrectly. And it's the Deutsch DT connector, so it's really good ones. We have an USB here, so you can connect the computer to it, and we have the battery input here, the positive. One good thing, when you're gonna set this up, you can actually connect with the USB cable here and power this one up from the computer, so no need for putting power to this to do the configuration. And also it's in this one Wi-Fi, so you don't need to connect it with a wire. That's convenient. The more I look into this electrical system, I think it's more and more stupid. All of these splices, a lot of positive wires going from the left hand side to the right hand side. For example, here we have 3 5-amp fuses, and the input from this is 1 3.5 square millimeters spliced to 3 of them 3.5 millimeter wires, and it goes to the fuse, the 5-amp fuse there. And the outputs, you see 3, I've cut them off, but it's 3 tiny small 0.35 square millimeters. Very small ones. And why do they have this big wires? Many of them also. So yeah, I think the Germans that did this is a little bit stupid. And actually I see in many cars that the wiring is usually a lot much larger than it needs to be. So in the motorsport you can many times go down. I've been looking at my Formula 1 harnesses, and it's very tiny wires there, especially for the signals. So even if this will not make much for the performance, it feels very nice to do the improvement of the car in this area. I don't think too many R8 owners are doing this to the car. I'm removing one of the radiators here, or heat exchanger for oil cooler, I think this is. And yeah, a lot of dirt in here as well. So it's good to take this out and clean it. I have bought some spare parts here, and I just want to talk about this for a second. First of all, this Volkswagen, Audi parts is actually cheaper than the Lamborghini. So this is good for using this as a race car in the future. This is like filter for the gearbox, filter for the engine. Also, I was at Ali and Sons. They are the dealer, I think, here in Abu Dhabi. They're not sponsoring me at all, but I'm just happy with those guys because the customer service was really good. I got the parts and no problem at all. I've been dealing with some other guys here in this country for a couple of weeks now, and not able to order the parts yet. So many times I like when you have really good customer service, better than if you got other parts a little bit cheaper maybe. I also bought these. These are the 2 condensers in the front. They are made by Kehin, it says, but they are original Volkswagen, and it's the condensers. Here we don't have the condenser, but you know, I was talking before in an earlier video how much these condensers are damaged. And this one is damaged in the bottom, and I have been working with these ones. Now they are newly painted, but some fins are damaged. And with my intercooler setup I'm going to do right now, it has actually changed. You can see here I have these radiators here. I don't think I will use these. One thing I've been thinking about a couple of years is that cooling the intercooler water with air condition. So I will do that, and then I want to have the air condition top notch. So that's why I have 2 of these new condensers there, so they will cool as good as possible. So I will replace the original one from 2017 to brand new ones. So some work and modifying here to get this radiator to fit, but I will ditch this idea for now. I will keep them, and maybe I will put them there in the future as well. By the way, one thing that was missing in my car, can you guess what this is? It's a really good thing to have. It's actually the parking brake emergency release, I think it's called. Oh, let's remove the rubber. This little red handle here is used for releasing the parking brake. The parking brake is like an automatic function really that is in the automatic gearbox, even though this is actually a manual gearbox. I was investigating this one before. It's a unit on top here, not easy to see now. I was thinking that one I will remove, so it's easier to remove and install the gearbox and make something to fool the gearbox that it thinks it's still in there. But when I was driving this car, it was pretty nice actually to have this parking brake, so I will keep it for now, but I will absolutely have this handle in the car. Usually it's in the front there, but it was not in my car. I've already experienced some people that had a problem with this one not in the car, and when something happens, it's not possible to move the car at all. The cabin filter here looking very gross, so nice to replace that one with a new one here I just got. And another new Audi part is this shrouding here. The ones that was here originally I have been modifying, not that expensive actually, so that's good. When I filmed this I have not done much at all of the cars for a couple of weeks. Feels like not so much energy. Good temperature in the garage. Usually I cool it down a little bit more before I go in here. And this IKEA trash bin, taking out one piece there and painted it black. So this car is a mix of expensive pieces, a lens dampers there for example, very cheap IKEA parts. I will use it for this very bad, these outlets. So I could have bought new liners here, but saving some money for some better stuff, and did cut this out, and I will put this in here. I will actually put it on the inside here, so we don't get rocks into the radiator fan there. Maybe in the future I will put new inner fenders here, but not for now. Yeah, the grills are in there, some little touch maybe. And I did some modification of the cooling system in the front here, and I was happy that I could install the front bumper again. But then I managed to damage the radiator here. Maybe I should buy a new radiator, the front center one. So I went to a radiator repair company here in Abu Dhabi. They put a small little welder. Another thing with this Carfax report on this car is, yeah, it was very good. I did the report on the other Audi I was looking on that was stolen, so I did not buy that one. But on this one, here you can see Audi had a safety recall on the gearbox breather hose, and it says that the transmission fluid may leak to gearbox ventilation, extreme racetrack driving, maneuvering situations, leaking. Yeah, so it can cause a smoke and a fire. And this problem was not performed. This is the ventilation pipe coming from down here. And the original one on all the R8s and also the Huracans, I think, is the single pipe. But it could overflow and yeah, cause a fire. The new ventilation hose, it was very cheap actually on, yeah, from Audi. So I bought it instead of bothering taking the car into Audi. Simple fix that could prevent my car from burning down, thanks to the Carfax. This will be interesting. I think the most expensive car part I ever have bought. The 6-speed Supra that I bought was cheaper than this part. And what is it? It's a Dodson clutch. Some boxes here. Here we can see the outer cage with the billet cover there. And yeah, here's the drive gear that drives the clutch from the flywheel. See what's inside here. Some 3D printed pieces here as well for a tool, I think. And a sticker pack. And here we have them, really beautiful pieces. These cages machined, some kind of steel here. I will show a little bit more detail when I change the clutch here. How this one is working and what's different between this one and the stock one, but everything here is billet. Aluminium cover here, and this cage, it's one of the weaknesses that this one can break. I think it's pressed plates, pressed, what do you say, pressed sheet metal stock, not the billet one. I'm trying to finish up the wiring here, still the original here, so it looks a little bit messy. Open up that one, removing some stuff and modifying some stuff. And the one thing I figured out that this engine doesn't have an oil pressure sensor, what I can find. It has a low oil pressure switch and a reduced oil pressure switch, but I want to see the real value. So I did put in one of these. It's the Bosch combined temperature and pressure sensor with M10 threads here. So it's a really good one, and the good thing is that it was one port here that was the same threads. Remove the plug and put in the sensor. So we'll see if there is pressure there, I hope so, and then we will have the oil pressure. There is some breakout wiring here that we can put in, but I think that I will use this one, for example, is for the map sensor. I will not use the map sensor. I think maybe it's good to have the map sensor to get the engine running the best, low loads, middle loads, but that's not the priority for me. I want to have free flow into the engine without anything disturbing there. I was about to start the car here, but could not getting it to start, and I have removed the start relays here and using the PDM instead. Checking some logs here, see if I can find the problem, if it's my logic or some voltages that is not maybe as it should. Ignition is on, dash is not connected correctly yet. I have some oil pressure and yeah, normal starting map there from Motec. So it's time for the first startup with the new turbos. No exhaust system on here yet, but I think it will be possible to start it. Oil is connected and yeah, everything here. Will be loud probably. Door is open out, closing up the door into the house. So we'll see. Like in a tractor. As a first-time owner of ball bearing turbos, I have to see them spin after shut-off. Okay, just finalize some stuff here, and yeah, I think it's time for exhaust here soon. And intercoolers, of course. I finally have a welder here, a TIG welder, an AC/DC. It's a Chinese one. I borrowed this one from my Danish friend Karsten here in Abu Dhabi. So I can do a little bit of welding. I will not do all of the fabrication, but I will do some brackets and small things that I want to do myself. I just got back my intercooler tank. It's fabricated by the metal players here in Abu Dhabi workshop. So I installed a level sensor because hopefully I will not open this up very often. Not planning to put ice in it, but I bought one of these. It's a plastic lid, very cheap one for like boats and kayaks. Some nice countersunk fasteners there, offset, pretty basic. The returns are going in here and out is here. Also it's a drain in the bottom if I want to drain warm water. Put it in there and do some bracket welding. Ja, ser lite konstigt ut, nästan ihopplockad, men det saknas lite grejer. blåser ganska mycket. Morning 9. Ja. I am here at Metal Players in Abu Dhabi and their workshop. Actually, we have my Audi is in here. Let's go in and see the progress. They are going to make my exhaust system and my intercooler tank. So they are almost finished with the exhaust system. Wastegate pipes is not fitted yet. It's gonna be coated, these ones, later on. It's stainless steel now. I have some mufflers there. I want to have a little bit silent this car. The intercooler and tanks they're starting with. Looking good. A little bit tight fit there, but it will fit, I think. Yeah, it's good to be in a workshop here. We have Mansour, the owner of the workshop, and yeah, they're doing exhaust manifolds, sheet metal work, different things inside here. They have an Scion here with an 2J engine and making a new exhaust manifold for that one. Working here on the end tanks. So here's pickup, Chevy 57, brake light. Oh, here we have a big intercooler and yeah, the turbo system here on the bed. Very cool. This nice shielding. And of course, some VTC Nissan Patrol, the 4.8 liter TB48 engine working on as well. You don't need to have a lift to work on the exhaust and stuff like that, the back. That's good. While it's empty in the garage, car is away, I was trying to find the Y fitting but could not do it. EN12 here in the country, easy. So I bought this T fitting and tried to do some modifications. Y fitting here, AN12 for the water, and yeah, made in this corner, a fabrication corner. I have one corner left without a damper, so I will see if I have my last beauty here. Last little Öhlins, or as we say in Sweden, Öhlins. And the weight of these ones compared to the stock Audi ones, it's very lightweight and it's still adjustable. Thanks for watching this video. The next episode of this car project will be the completion of the turbo kit, and I pick the car back home to my garage and do the first test drives.